It may be now or never for tax relief in Washington State. Coming up on AWB Amplified. Washington lawmakers have more money than ever. New estimates show a $14 billion budget surplus over 4 years. State revenues remain strong. Lawmakers have $10 billion more to work with than they expected last year.
In 2011 and 13, it was $32 billion. It is now almost $64 billion.
Before we get too far into the numbers, let's not forget where a large chunk of this money comes from. Taxes on employers generate about half of our state's revenue. And they've already been awash in a huge wave of recent taxes since 2018. 22 new or increased taxes that will generate $40 billion for the state over the next 10 years. Mix in rising inflation, and it's compounding an already difficult pandemic era. So let's take a look at what's on the table. 2 budgets are currently up for debate. The Senate has proposed increasing spending by nearly 24% over the last 2-year budget, and the House plan would spend 26.5% more. Conversely, Representative Drew Stokesbury just came out with his version of the budget that not only doesn't burn through our surplus, but balances the budget while still funding the things that need attention. Hundreds of millions to social and health services, paid family and medical leave, wildfire funding, and education. It cuts the sales tax by 1%, cuts B&O tax by 40%, and backfills $1 billion to the budget stabilization account.
If you want to help the people, the best way to help the people and to help the most people is just have them pay less tax in the first place.
We should mention that other attempts to ease the burden on employers, like a B&O tax cut for manufacturers that aligned with last year's unanimous support for doubling manufacturing in 10 years, and proposals to lower the sales tax or property taxes were DOA this year. Another interesting consideration is how we stack up with other states that are experiencing a similar surplus. In Maine, the Democratic governor is announcing $500 tax rebates for most taxpayers in her state, according to the Seattle Times. California's governor is announcing what he calls the biggest state tax rebate in American history. And Kentucky's governor is calling for a 1-year sales tax cut and a relief on car taxes. It's true, different states have different tax structures, but lawmakers across the country are finding ways to reduce the tax burden for employers and families. It's time for Washington lawmakers to do the same. So, considering all that we've just covered, the existing burden on employers, a recent wave of new taxes, rising inflation, a new version of the budget that fully funds the next 4 years and gives back to residents, and other states setting the bar. It's clear that there's never been a better time for tax relief for Washington employers and their employees.
We've got to find opportunities. We have to have these opportunities to give back to the people of Washington.
Unfortunately, there's virtually no tax relief in either of the budget proposals lawmakers are currently debating. Majority lawmakers say it's just not part of the long-term plan.
I'm not going to be entertaining things, tax cuts of the size and scale that might threaten the sustainability of the budget planning we've been doing over the last few years, and that could require us to make cuts over, in the future.
I still haven't figured out why ongoing spending increases are perfectly acceptable, but ongoing tax reductions are hugely problematic and can't even be put on the table. But if it really is true that we are so worried about sustainability, then we shouldn't be funding ongoing programs, adding new ongoing programs in the supplemental budget, and we certainly shouldn't be funding things that create a large and known bow wave.
We urge lawmakers to reconsider draining our state's unprecedented budget surplus before they've eased the burden on employers and employees. Now is the time for tax relief. AWB's Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee is following the issue closely. To learn more, contact me at tommyjg@awb.org.